Recognize myself for 5 minutes. Welcome, Ms. Yellen. Good to see you again today. We've discussed this issue in the past. My concern initially was the very slow response with regards to sanctions that were put on all the things that could be helpful to Russia whenever they invaded Ukraine. And so I ask you in the last couple times you've been here, in your position as the head of FSOC, is there a committee or a group that's being put together to be able to have sanctions immediately ready to put on China when China invades Taiwan? Our own generals say it's going to happen over the next 3 years. So therefore, I think we need to have a plan in place so it doesn't take several months like it did with Russia, because I think in order for us to be impactful, we've got to do this very quickly. So you've indicated last time you were here that there is a committee that's working on this. Would you like to discuss it a little bit more?
Sir, there are interagency discussions around Taiwan.
Those discussions include working with our allies to be able to identify different entities, different groups, to be able to sanction and make it more difficult for China to economically continue once they invade and we put sanctions on them.
I'm sorry, I'm not really able to discuss.
I don't want specifics. I just want generalities here. I understand, but I think it's important for us to know, as a committee, to provide our oversight, that there is a concern about this, number one, and number two, that there are discussions going on, and they include allies to be able to address this issue when and if it occurs.
We have many discussions about common issues with our allies, and I would include this in that list. But I'm not able to provide any specifics.
Okay, I understand that. Thank you very much. Next question is a little bit different. What's your greatest concern when it comes to foreign finance issues like this?
When it comes to what?
With foreign finance, we're talking about foreign financial institutions and different issues today with regards to international financial system. What's your greatest concern about all of this?
About foreign financial institutions?
Yeah, things that you're involved in, things that are concerning to our country with regards to whether it be CFIUS or whether it be sanctions or whether it be, international artificial intelligence. What's the biggest concern you have when it comes to international financial relationships and issues?
Well, I have many different concerns, but in the realm of sanctions, we have very powerful sanctions that are available because of the important role of the dollar in international transactions. The ability to cut off foreign banks or other businesses or individuals from the ability to transact through the U.S. financial system and to participate in the dollarized.
Okay, so basically your protection of the dollar is one of your greatest concerns.
I think that's important, and the more we have used sanctions, the more countries look for ways to engage in financial transactions that don't involve the dollar.
Okay, according to Executive Order 13818, a foreign person is to be sanctioned if the Treasury Secretary finds them responsible for or complicit in or have directly or indirectly engaged in serious human rights abuse. In Russia, with regards to Russia, we sanctioned Vladimir Putin and the foreign minister following the invasion of Ukraine. With respect to the Uyghur genocide, it is Treasury's position that this standard for sanctions applies to with respect to the Uyghurs. Is it Treasury's position that this standard applies for sanctions against Xi Jinping? And if not, why has the Chinese leadership been spared?
Well, we have engaged in sanctions related to the Uyghurs under the forced.
Yeah, but the question is, you sanctioned the leadership of Russia, but you haven't sanctioned the leadership of China. Why? That's the basic question.
This is a basic foreign policy issue that.
Well, sanctions fall under your jurisdiction, so the administration and you working together have not felt that this is important yet.
This is a question I would suggest that you refer to the State Department.
Okay, well, I know that one of our members talked about the sanctions against various banks in China with regards to drug money and laundering Mexican cartel money. I think it's important that we continue that. I sat on the Chinese Select Committee, and it is a really, really big deal that we continue to sanction those banks that facilitate the money laundering of money from the drug cartels, because that's one of the ways we can kind of help thwart that. With that, I yield my time back.